What's going on, my friends? For those of you that follow the channel, you know that I'm absolutely obsessed with steel bezel inserts on my watches and silver tone style in general. But another thing that I am crazy about is crowns that are not at the 3 o'clock position. So crowns at 4 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock, etc. That's what I really like. I love that visual style. So for today's episode, I'm just going to share some of those watches in my collection. Before we do though, of course, I got to do the wristwatch check. What kind of channel would I be if I didn't do that? So today I'm rocking my newly acquired Squale 1545. I don't love it. I like it because it is, a homage, and everybody loves a homage, because it's copping a great style. But I don't know. We'll see. I'll wear it for the next couple of weeks to formulate a truly educated opinion. And then, of course, as always, I will put out a review as soon as I can. But with that out of the way, let's go right into it. These watches aren't in any particular order. I think I'm just going to go by brand, but those brands aren't in any particular order. So starting off with number one is a Casio G-Shock. This is an older model. I can't remember the model name, but I'll put it on the screen for you right now. This is the MRG, and I think I'm going to do another video on my disappointment with G-Shock today because they just don't make them like they used to, and I think this is a perfect example of that saying. But as you can see, it's got the 9 o'clock crown right there. Very cool. I absolutely love it. And if you can find one, these, I'm not going to say they're rare, but they're harder and harder to find. So if you can find one for a good deal, grab one. We'll stay in Japan for now, so let's move on to Orient. This is the Orient M-Force Beast, another older model, discontinued, but still available online. As you can see, it's got the 9 o'clock crown, and I absolutely love that. What is it about the 9 o'clock crown? I guess if I had to define it, to me, it's just adventurous. It's visually appealing, it looks very fun, and it is synonymous to like scout carrying a knife. If you know what I'm talking about, it's where you wear your knife horizontally on your belt, like on the back, and it looks super cool, instead of carrying it on the side on your hip. But again, just an awesome style. Moving on to the next Orient. I'm not sure what the name of this one is. I don't think it's a Triton, but I'll put the model number on there. Orient model numbers are the absolute worst. But again, just like the SKX, you've got one at the 4 o'clock position here, and I do very much like that. I need to review this one actually. I think it's close to being an SKX killer, but due to its large size, I don't think it really makes it there, but still a fantastic watch. After Orient, let's move on to Citizen. This one is the NY0040, a fantastic watch from Citizen. We've got an 8 o'clock crown here, and I really like it on this side. On the left-hand side of the case, before I said it looked adventurous and it was just visually fun, but I think it's also very practical. Not that a 3 o'clock crown really gets in the way, but the fact that you don't have to worry about it at all just makes it an absolute joy to wear during any kind of physical activities like working out. So when you're doing push-ups, pressing movements, and anything really, any physical labor where hand flexion is involved, it's a beautiful thing when you've got the crown on the other side of the case. Now let's take a look at some Seikos. These next three are sort of all the same, or at least I pair them all in the same, I guess, genetic background when it comes to watches. But these are, so I've got an SKX here, and then two SRPDs, or the newer Seiko 5 Sports. And so we've got the 4 o'clock crowns here. And I don't know if the SKX was the first one to implement a 4 o'clock crown. It probably wasn't. But I think for many of us in the watch community today, our first experience with a non-3 o'clock crown was with Seiko and the SKX. And of course, that's a very broad statement, so it's probably not factually accurate, but it was for me. For me personally, from Seiko, that's where I first really fell in love with the beauty that is a non-3 o'clock crown. And sort of in the same family, but I think on a higher branch, is my Seiko Steelmaster SPB 185. Again with the 4 o'clock crown. Very cool, very beautiful. I highly recommend this one if you can find one for a reasonable price. I think these are grossly overpriced. I was able to get one at a great deal, around $900. So I think at that price range, you're getting a good deal. Now this next one, I might be cheating because it's the Arnie and it does have the 3 o'clock crown, but it has the crown here at 10 o'clock and at 8 o'clock. And so for me, it gives me that same mental and emotional satisfaction of a non 3 o'clock crown, despite it actually having a 3 o'clock crown. So I decided to throw it in there, and maybe it's just an excuse to show it off again because I absolutely love this watch. This is my really the very first watch I ever modded, so it's very special to me. So any chance I can to show it off, I'm gonna do it. And for the next one, same thing. I'm gonna cheat again, but this is the newest version of the S&J model. This is the S&J 033, and even though it does have a 3 o'clock crown, like I said before, it gives me the same emotional satisfaction of a non 3 o'clock crown because it's got these ginormous crowns shooting out of the sides here at 8, 4, and 2. And another Seiko. I've shared this one before. I haven't done a review. I really need to do one, but this is the Atlas. I think there's another nickname for it, Land Shark or something like that. I modified this one, but this one you're getting the 4 o'clock and 9 o'clock crowns. So, you know, if you're like me and you like this style, you're getting all of it with the Land Shark. Got a couple more Seikos here. If you couldn't tell, I am a Seiko fanboy. But for the next one, the Baby Tuna, 4 o'clock crown here, and I absolutely love that. Now, when we're talking about these non 3 o'clock crowns, I mean, what is it for you guys? Is it a form over function thing, or function over form? You know, again, like, you know, a 3 o'clock crown doesn't hinder any kind of physical activity for me. So even though I like to think that having the crown in any other position is like a practical function, I think for me it's really more of just that visual style that I really like. I got 2 more Seikos here and then we'll be done with Seikos. So if you guys are sick of Seikos, just bear with me here. The next one is a tuna, or not tuna, I'm sorry, turtle with the 4 o'clock crown. Seiko really likes 4 o'clock crowns and I love them for it. There you go. Very cool. Just a beautiful watch. And then the last one is one that I reviewed not too long ago. This is the SNKE 01, again with the 4 o'clock crown. Alright, now let's get into Tudor. So this one is the ugly duckling of the watch community. I disagree with that statement though. I think this watch is nothing but beautiful. One of the most beautifully unique watches that I have in my collection. This is, it really just screams SKX to me. That's why I like it. Let me go ahead and move this bezel back to 12. I was traveling with it not too long ago, so I used the 12-hour bezel to monitor another time zone, which was actually very useful. But yeah, it reminds me of SKX. Let's actually look at it side by side with the SKX. And, you know, I think you can see right away just why I thought of the SKX. They share a very similar shape, even though they are vastly different in every other category. But I love this watch very much, and one of the biggest reasons why is because it's got that 4 o'clock crown. It's very hard to find watches in this category, so, you know, I wouldn't say luxury, but $3,000 and above, it's hard to find a watch with a crown at, anywhere other than 3. So I very much appreciate that. And after the Tudor, we're moving on to a very newly acquired watch. This is the ZRC. Very cool. Has a rich military background. So if you're into military watches, definitely check out ZRC. But here we've got a 6 o'clock crown, which is very uncommon. I mean, there are watches out there with a 6 and 12 o'clock crown, but it's just not common. Not like, an 8 o'clock or 4 o'clock crown. And this one, just very cool. Beautiful watch, and one that I need to review as well. I got this one because I felt like it paired perfectly with the P01, because both of these have history with the Navy, and so I just felt like they're a great pair to have in a collection. And let's stick with military watches. So for the next one, this is the Marathon. Usually Marathons come with a 3 o'clock crown, but I'm gonna add this one in here because this was modified by, I forget the company, I think it's Wilson Watchworks, but they do this 9 o'clock crown conversion. So the purpose of it is to make it compatible for lefties, but for me, being primarily right-handed, I myself prefer the 9 o'clock crown. So I don't think they should call it like the left-hand conversion. I think they should just call it the freaking awesome conversion. But here you go. If you were wondering what the G-SAR would look like with a 9 o'clock crown, this is what it looks like, and I highly recommend it. It's a little bit pricey. I think if you already have a G-SAR and you want this conversion, it's like $400 or $500. I bought this watch already converted, so I didn't have to worry about that. And moving on to another brand that has a lot of military history. This is the Hamilton Crosswind. And there's a lot going on here. But you've got the crown at 9 o'clock. You've got 2 pushers here at 10 and 8. And then 2 crowns here at 2 and 4. So if you really don't like a 3 o'clock crown, then the Crosswind has got you covered in literally every other position. And, there's no denying this is just an awesome looking watch. It's got such a cool style, very futuristic looking, but also very professional looking. And I think a lot of pilots, a lot of military people, a lot of engineers are gonna like this style. Very cool. And then last one, I'm gonna cheat again here. But this is an Omega Seamaster Professional 300. So we do have the 3 o'clock crown, but I get the same emotional joy of a non-3 o'clock crown because of this helium release valve here at the 10 o'clock position. And I really like that. Another beautiful watch. Absolutely love this one. And if you've been, thinking about getting it, all I can say is it is exactly as awesome as you fantasize it being. But there you have it. Hopefully I didn't bore you too much with me just droning on and on about my non-3 o'clock crown obsession, but just wanted to share that with you. It's something I very much like, and I figure a lot of you out there share that same thought process as I do. So if you want to share some of your preferred watches with non-3 o'clock crowns, you're more than welcome to share that with me. And you're also more than welcome to join my several other social media outlets to share pictures with the rest of the people in my community already. So with that being said, I'm gonna roll out here and I'll start working on my next review. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next episode. Bye.